day 2 report. Boop-a-da-boo.
Boo-doo-boo-doo-boo.
The big news that I kept hearing a lot about from people is the offensive line. I know Talking Giants talked about the offensive line. The lineup they mentioned they saw specifically was Andrew Thomas, obviously at left tackle, Jermaine Illuminor at left guard, JMS obviously at center, John Runyon Jr. at right guard, and right tackle was the burger flipper, Evan Neal.
Yeah.
So looks like Evan Neal is going to be having the starting job to start the camp. The question is, can he hold on to it?
It's his to lose.
Yeah, it really is. And I get why they kind of have to do that. As his 7th overall pick, you have to give him every chance to fail. But if he doesn't show you something this offseason, you can't start the season with him. I'm sorry. You can't. Especially that Jermaine Illuminor, who, like I said, playing left guard right now, but the guy is primed and ready to go for the right tackle position because he's played there the last couple of years. So
yeah.
So Kayvon Thibodeaux and another newcomer there, Brian Burns, we're also seen working out a lot together. So it's good to see those two kind of getting along. The question is, who's Batman and who's Robin?
Ooh.
Oh, yes. Maybe they're 2 Green Arrows.
I was going to say, there could be a Nightwing.
No, Nightwing. Nightwing and Robin? I mean, I don't know. I feel like
Red
once you
Hood.
put Batman, I like Batman and Superman. That's what I would like. That kind
there
of
we go.
Except them fighting and then...
I was about to say, no fighting.
Yes, and then solving their troubles by realizing their mothers both had the same first name.
Martha!
My mother's name is Martha. Really?
No, my mother's.
Oh my god, that was the most ridiculous movie of all time.
Maybe not all time, but it's up there.
At least that year. But yeah, Devin Singletary. Oh, crazy! We're talking about Devin Singletary. He worked with the line today as well, learning basically them together, scheming to pick up how they're going to pick up different blitz packages together. So glad to hear they're doing that with him. Devin Singletary is a pretty good pass pro back. That's one of the knocks if you're going to knock our former running back, Saquon Barkley. And I'm not trying to kick the guy on the way out, but we all talked about it his whole career. He wasn't a good pass protection guy. He wasn't the guy you kept back there to keep Daniel Jones safe. Devin Singletary is that guy. He does do that very well. So it's going to be interesting how that helps the offensive line as well. And you got to wonder if part of that is maybe the decision why they didn't keep Barkley as well. They might have wanted a guy who can do this, and that wasn't Barkley. The team portion of the practice today was all in the red zone, mostly within the 10-yard line. 2 touchdowns in the first portion there. Tommy DeVito scrambled to find Malik Nabers in the back of the end zone. So Malik Nabers gets his first touchdown of the OTAs there. For some reason, my lights just started dimming, so hopefully I don't lose power in a minute. I don't know what's happened there. And then Nathan Rourke, we talked about him, the guy we just picked up from the Patriots by way of the Jaguars by way of Canada A, threw a shovel pass to wide receiver Miles Boykin there. Later in practice, Gunnar Olszewski, we talked about him, a lot as far as the special teams because he's been a punt returner almost exclusively his whole career there, was used pretty often. There was a wide receiver today, including catching 2 TD passes. So I'm wondering, and we've talked about this, in our wide receiver episode we did, him only playing special teams makes it more difficult to win a roster spot this year. There's no guarantees going to make the squad. So he's going to have to do something on offense and prove some worth there. So I think they're giving him every chance to do so. It was definitely a good upgrade for us at the punt return there, but yeah, that's not saying much. Eric Ray was the guy back there before him, so it's like, well, poop, not poop, poop, not poop.
Just a little bit of poop.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, exactly. Wasn't difficult to beat that out there. Jalen Hyatt got a touchdown also from Tommy DeVito. Tight end Tyree Jackson got one as well, and Miles Boykins ended the team practice with back-to-back touchdowns from Drew Lock. Bobby Okereke and Ryder Anderson combined for what would have been a sack during the practice there. Trey Hawkins III also knocked the ball away in the end zone. Jalen Mills got an interception as well there. So So gotta give some props to defense. Listen, if anybody's ever watched a 7-on-7, 11-on-11 kind of drill at that point, it's really difficult for defense to make it's definitely offensive geared. Correct. So when you're hearing a lot more on the positive on offense than you are on defense, realize that's why. There's only so long you can cover. Like, it's hard. You can't really sack because you can't really hit the guy. And the quarterback knows that. So it's like it's just different how you play overall.
Correct.
The other thing we got to point out is the Giants media was laid it on pretty thick today. Like, if it was any thicker, it'd be a milkshake from Sonic. Like, the Daniel Jones, Malik Nabers photos. It's like anytime those two were together, they got out the old zoom lens there and took a picture as if these guys are bosom buddies here, like Tom Hanks here. And they're really trying to make us believe that these guys have a relationship and these guys are working out well and stuff like that. And that's not me saying they're not. It just seems a little forced. Like,
yeah, especially after some comments.
Yeah, and I think that's what this whole thing's about. Let's be honest. I think the whole thing is about them going, you know what, Malik, you kind of said some things that made DJ look bad this offseason. Why don't you pose for some pictures, just talk to him, joke around, laugh a little, maybe throw a ball around a little back and forth, and we'll take some pictures and
playing our hand catch.
Yeah, everybody will think you guys are besties now.
Yeah.
So, until I actually see something during a game, that's when I'll believe it. Like, if I see those guys like high-fiving each other and, the two of them are inseparable on the sidelines, that's when I'll believe there's a relationship. Because that's the relationship you want with your star quarterback and your star receiver. Not that Daniel Jones is a star quarterback, but you know what I mean. Your starting quarterback and your star receiver. I was going to say. Let's call it that way. Let's call it more relationship.
He's the star of that quarterback room.
It's like, what's the smallest star? What's the smallest star in the universe? That's where we're at there. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how that develops over time. Again, he said some comments he definitely shouldn't have said leading up to the draft. That definitely is not going to help the relationship there. But in the end, guys just want to win, and winning solves a lot.
100%.
And if Malik Nabers makes Daniel Jones look better, Daniel Jones is going to get over those comments really quickly. And if Daniel Jones can just get Malik Nabers the damn ball,
he definitely will do
Keyshawn Johnson, then he'll be fine as well. So, I said I won't read too much into the comments, pictures, good or bad yet. If we start seeing issues with them on the field, where they're not connecting, there's miscommunications like crazy, that's when you sit there and say, okay, that was all BS. That's not real. But otherwise, we'll see what happens.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.